Salutations, y'all. Today, it is finally time to finally go through my entire reading journal for 2025. And y'all, this is a chonker, all right? I've basically went through every single page here, just about every single page in this notebook has been filled. And if you want to see a setup and a mid-year flip through of this journal, it will be linked in the video description down below. But let's just quickly go through this notebook. So we're gonna go start at the very beginning here. Oh yeah, I forgot I still have this bookmark kind of thing for my grid spacing guide. Right, there's the full indexed here. So if you want to see what we're gonna go through here, you know, it's all right here. And then we have the book bracket here. I have like the best book for each of the month of the year, ballot out, and then I have the top three with The Maid and the Crocodile, James and the Everlasting. I didn't pick a winner here because I did not like the book bracket format here. So towards the end of this journal, actually, I kind of redid this in a way that really worked better for me. So we'll get to that when we get to that. And as far as my books to read in 2025, I kind of just like use some blank sticker paper, cover up the book covers that I'm not even gonna look back at. So if you actually see my setup video, you actually know what the book covers are underneath here, because honestly, I don't even remember myself. And as far as my intentions, I prioritize my physical TBR, I pushed myself to read more nonfiction, I read more translated fiction, prioritized reading completed series, and I was pretty successful in my 6 Works by 6 Friends, at least in my personal standards. It's a spread that I like, but it's not my best work here. I'm not gonna lie, I was being a bit over ambitious. And then with my series tracker here, I did not end up finishing the Raven and Fisher mystery series as I hoped I would, especially since it was new release, and I still own physical copy of the last book, so we'll get to this eventually. And then I just DNF'd and unhauled a lot more series than I thought I would, so very unfortunate, but I did manage to finish reading 3 series, and I caught up in several series, and then, you know, still got to finish this series. This one's completed. And then Pioneer series I started at the very end of the year, and I also started the Unselected Journals of Emma Lyon as well. It's not a completed series, it's still an ongoing series. So yeah, this is the only ongoing series that I started at the end of the year. I don't really have much to say about this spread or these pages like at all. Buzzwordathon, this is just where I got left here. I didn't do Truth and Lies or Never. I'm never good with the word specific prompts at all, so that's just what I got there. And as far as the self-destruct TBR, I mean, honestly, I've only managed to DNF 3 books. I didn't even touch, actually, you said 3? Oh, sorry, no, 4 actually I DNF'd and on hold. I only have these 2 left. And then the 6 Works by 6 Friends, I've read 4 of them, DNF'd Peach Blossom Spring, and I still have the Unbroken in my TBR. So to me, this is pretty successful. I mean, I try to read every single one of these books, so that's successful for me for how ambitious this was. And I gotta say, for the ones that I read, I actually really enjoyed. So props to y'all, for some of y'all, for recommending some books. And then the books read versus books bought. Honestly, the books bought page was kind of just non-existent because I didn't really buy that many books in 2025. So this was just a waste of page. And as far as books read, it was actually really nice to see it, but I kind of wish I had more space to write the book titles. So something to keep in mind of for sure. But I did like the fact that I managed to read a good amount of books and I got through all the shelves. That's my physical TBR spread. I started off the year with 81 books, and then I ended 2025 with 46 books. So nearly half, but still, it was progress. It was mostly books that I DNF'd and unhauled, or I've unread them. Just a lot of unhauling of books, honestly. It's not terrible, but it just kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping I'd be reading more of these books more than anything, but it is what it is. And then these are all the arcs that I requested and been approved of. There were 2 books that I decided just to refuse to get feedback on, so that kind of tanked, honestly, on my feedback ratio. And then as far as what's left here is Birth of a Dynasty, which actually I did finish at the start of 2026. That can be crossed out, but I still have the Isle of the Silver Sea as far as my 2025 arcs that I have yet to review. It's been on pause for a while now. We'll see when I get to it. And then my buddy reads, I mean, also I do have the Isle of the Silver Sea as a buddy read option, so we need to go through that. But honestly, my buddy reads has been pretty successful. I just don't like the page, and I haven't liked it in a while. And then now we just get right into the start of 2025. And then of course, we have the Adventure in Alia spread here. I did miss a few months here, but it was a very fun challenge. I have planned to do this again for 2026. We'll see how successful I am, since 2026 is a lot more busy for me, but honestly, I'm kind of proud with how much I've gone through for 2025. As far as the R Fantasy Book Bingo, I've only managed to have 4 spots left over, which has now been carried over to 2026. I don't think I'm ever going to actually complete this board. My reading has tremendously slowed down in 2026, but I'm very hopeful for the 5 short stories and maybe Hidden Gem, small publisher kind of ones, but that's kind of it. I don't think I'm going to black out this board, but hey, I've gone through a lot of this board in 2025, so I'm proud of that. Let's get into now the second half of the year. So we have July here, we have the cover page, we have the calendar, the hopefuls. Not really much to say on the calendar page. I tried to participate in like 2 readathons in July. That was a major mistake because I basically was hit with the reading slump. It did not work for me at all. And that's very unfortunate because I was very ambitious, but I really wanted to read as much as I could for the Tarot Readathon and July Noir, but I just couldn't really do it. Again, if you look too closely into what I've written here, it's full of spoilers and stuff. I did start off July though with one of my worst books of the year, so that sucks. But then hey, I followed up with one of the best books of the year. And then also we ended with another best book of the year. So, I read like 3 books, but that's not too bad. And then here's like the stats for the month of July. I don't really like the stats page, but I think my stats pages got better as the year went on. Then in August, I decided to experiment a little bit on the calendar page just to put into a whole spread instead of a single page. Not gonna lie, in retrospect, I still don't really like this. I think it took up way too much space. I didn't need this much space. But I did like the fact that I got more reading hopefuls here. Let's see, I don't think I read no wait, I did. I read Lucky Day, not in the month of August, but like I read Lucky Day, Idea Nut Flashlight, and Hemlock and Silver, but that's pretty much it. I didn't even start my reread of Trade War or started reading the Count of Monte Cristo or Intermezzo. I mean, yeah, these were hopefuls, okay, not hard set rules. And as far as my watch list, I did watch The Good Place Season 4, Naja, Abbott Elementary, and North of North. I still have yet to watch Lupin and Enter Galactic, but that's for future reference. And of course, I did also participate in the Full Moon Readathon, at least I tried to. Wasn't the most successful, and honestly, this TBR is very much wrong. I really thought I would be in the mood for classics. Hell no. I mean, I put the Count of Monte Cristo on there. I mean, honestly, I was way too ambitious. And then I started off the month with The Golden Boy's Guide to Bipolar, one of my favorite books of the year for sure. And then I started actually adding some movie and TV show reviews. So also, if you look too closely in here, you will see more spoilers and stuff for each TV show and season. So don't look too closely. But I did like the fact that I included those reviews in my notebook because I didn't read that much towards the second half of the year. And I wanted to make sure I used up every single page in this notebook. So I'm glad I got through. I wrote like a lot more reviews and stuff for movies and TV shows. I had a lot to say about Abbott Elementary Season 4. I still think it's the best season so far. I'm watching Season 5 and like, it's really good, but I don't think it was as good as Season 4. We'll see how Season 5 ends though. Oh yeah, and then The Good Place Season 4, that was a rewatch, and I really had a good time with that one. Actually, I think I really want to rewatch it again, because this is actually the first time I've actually rewatched the show. So now part of me wants to do a second rewatch. We'll see. And then we have Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur Season 1. That was really good. I still need to actually finish watching Season 2. I need to rewatch the first half and then actually watch the second half for the first time. But it's so hard because this show only has 2 seasons. And it deserves more seasons, but there's only 2, so it's painful. It's just painful for me. Oh yeah, Sweet Heat, one of the worst books I read. This Thing Between Us was a book club pick. Deja, that was actually really fun. I still need to watch the sequel though. Sinners, one of the best movies I watched in 2025. And then To Super Dragon Express, which was pretty good. And I really like the format that I did with the monthly wrap-up pages here. So this is actually where I started to consistently do this particular layout. And then now we get into September. I went back to having a singular page for the calendars. And then I just put like a range of media hopefuls. These are the books and then the movies and TV shows. Again, I read Lucky Day, and I DNF'd actually all 3 of these books. I got them as like ALCs. Actually, I think I got all of these as like ALCs or arts. No, these 3 were ALCs. This one was an art. As far as the movies and TV shows, I've only watched the half of it and Inside Out 2. I didn't continue watching The Proud Family, Louder or Prouder, and I did not start watching Normal People. I don't know. Let me know, actually, for anyone who's watched the adaptation of Normal People, should I watch it? I haven't even read the book yet, so I don't know if I should. But y'all let me know. I'm just curious. And then with the Magical Readathon, of course, with the my calling for Tome Binder, I just started to stick it all in there. I don't know if I read Harmontown Season, and I think that's it. I think everything else here was, I had to pick something else. Right, I started with Catabasis. I hated that one. North of North was pretty good. Total Drama 2023 was fine. Lucky Day was pretty good. Oh yeah, then I have like all these like quick reviews here because I was trying to put so much into a page. So I have all these novellas here. It's a lot of writing. And then I have these like terrible movies back to back. I don't know, I was having an allergy attack. I can't believe I watched all those bad movies. Oh yeah, then I rewatched like the Shrek movies, like 1 through 4. And then I watched some weird random movies. I don't know why. I even wrote reviews for them. I need reviews for this space, but I could just watch a different movie. I don't know. And then I watched Wolf King Season 2. I don't think this is going to get renewed, so that's fine though, because it was kind of mediocre. And then the best book of September was The Possession of Alba Diaz, which sucks because it was like a 4-star, so not that great. Here's the monthly stats, and I actually really like this color scheme. I really like the nice green. And then we get to October. I tried to experiment again with the 2-page spread as far as the calendar, and it's not too bad, but I don't particularly love the layout. And these were supposed to be some things I wanted to watch in the month of October. I didn't really watch them, so that was kind of a waste. And also, I try to do like this list out of like the media that I've consumed in the month of October. It just didn't look well. But I like the idea though. I like the idea, and I like the stickers on top, so can't blame me. And then with Black Halloween, which unfortunately was canceled, but I still made the spread for it. And I didn't even read a single book on here, so whatever. But hey, looks pretty to me. I watched the half of it. It was pretty good, not great. The Sea Beast was also pretty good, but not great. Harmontown Season was pretty good, not great. Walk-in Practice was actually really good, so that's one I definitely highly recommend. I still recommend the Harmontown Season and these 2 movies, but nothing totally eye-catching from here. Oh yeah, Nobody Wants This. This is on Netflix. I reviewed seasons 1 and 2 on here, and I definitely do recommend this show. And if you have not seen it already, The Night Tiger, hard book to recommend, but I really enjoyed it. And then also Inside Out 2 was pretty fun to watch as well. Theft was good, Kill the Beast was okay, and The Everlasting was amazing. Like, truly loved it. Had a great time. Oh, right, and then I watched Jurassic World Chaos Theory, all 4 seasons. I watched it in 1 month, and I had way more thoughts, honestly, on the show. I just couldn't fit it all in here, and I do think I need to actually rewatch it, because I want to, like, redo a spread for this show, because there's just so many things for me to actually go over with this show, especially if you've watched, like, Camp Cretaceous. Definitely a show that I definitely recommend if you have seen Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, but I really enjoyed all the seasons. And then this is the monthly stats for October. I really like the color scheme as well. It looked really nice. And then we got to November. Honestly, I really like the way I laid out the calendar page, leave room for some anticipated releases. And then I also like the fact that I had the stats page right next to the calendar. I like to have that stuff pretty close together. So you already get to see the stats for November before we get to reviews. This time I actually went to like just single page reviews here. We have Certain Dark Things, which was really good. Sun in the Morning was one of my favorites. We also have One of the Boys, which is actually pretty good. I do recommend that one. We have Savage Blooms that really surprised me. and that I actually still recommend if you're not checked it out already. It's erotic, but hey, I think it was pretty good. All right, and then we have to December. Right, yes. So since I didn't have any anticipated releases for December, I decided to go with like some hopefuls to end the year with. I think I read Wild Seed, Is This a Cry for Help? Yeah, I think those are the only ones I've actually read. I think I started reading Eternal Ruin. I tried to read more of The Isle of the Silver Sea. Didn't do that though. I didn't read Frankenstein. That was unfortunate because I wanted to watch the movie. But I didn't get to it. And then Birth of a Dynasty, I think I started in December as well. So yeah, good progress here. And as you can see here, I also watched some Christmas movies, just various Christmas movies. And then here is the end of the month reading stats as well. Pretty good stuff here. And I did also participate in the Lightful Bingo, the Lightful Reading Challenge thing. It was pretty fun. I didn't get it bingo, but it's fine though. I like doing the spread though. Oh yeah, and I also, Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green is actually a book I read in November, but I didn't think I would actually finish the book in November, so I just put it in with the December pages. So this is just a random November review. And then we have Wild Seed, which is a book I read in December. Then we have Hunchback, which was a pretty weird book. The Unselected Journals of Emma L. Lyon, Volume 1 was pretty good. And then I ended the year with Is This a Cry for Help by Emily Austin, which was actually a book that wouldn't come out until January 2025. So yeah, and then I just had room for one more review, but I didn't get another book review. And then I try to do some mini reviews for some Christmas movies that I watched, which honestly I didn't even finish writing those reviews because I just didn't feel like it. And then also I didn't write the review for the last movie I watched either. It was fine. Okay, it's fine. And then to end with this random page I've had here, I decided to just print out some stuff from my Storograph Wrapped. It showed about like the number of books, some random stats and stuff. There'll be like, there's other pages with actual full reading stats and stuff. But I just want to do something with this page so it's not just blank. Now we get into the end of the year stats. And it's pretty stacked up, honestly. I really liked how this looks versus like, what I did with Storograph personally. Mostly because of like the fact that I didn't think to do anything with that page, but regardless. My reading stats, I've read 76 books. Read 13,362 pages, 499.43 hours, and my average reading was a 4.06. That's pretty good, so happy about that. And my average time to finish reading a book was 9 days. Honestly, I'm actually quite impressed with the amount of audiobooks, mixed media I consumed. I borrowed a lot from my library, and of course, though, I got a lot of books from ARCs, but I did read a solid chunk of books that I've owned, so pretty good. Mostly standalones with a few series. I read 3 books that were translated, and each book was translated from a different language. And then as far as new to me or returning, I managed to read a lot of books that were new to me, whether it's new to me straight up or a debut, versus what I've read from before. So maybe that kind of did that away a little bit with my average rating, because there's a lot of books that I liked and loved, and then books that are like, okay, not so much. But that's fine though. I don't regret trying that. And then here is where we get some more stats like representation, like queer rep, disability, author of color, the author's gender, and then we have pacing, page number, and audible length. I think the most noteworthy thing for me is, let's see, I think maybe author's gender. I mean, it is predominantly women, men, and then we have trans and non-binary. Trans, non-binary, and man were pretty roughly around similar as far as numbers wise, but like, yeah, overwhelmingly women. I kind of want to read more of the men and trans/non-binary authors for sure. Need to get better at that, not gonna lie. Diversify the author gender way more. I think disability rep was pretty decent. We have more, there's a big chunk here with absent, but we still have like a more bigger chunk if you combine main character and present. So a lot of books I've read had at least some presence of a disabled character. So whether it's been the main character or a side character or probably prominent character, it was there versus absent. So I think that's pretty good. Even my queer rep was pretty big there as far as main characters, but I still need to work a little bit more on the disability rep. And as far as my author of color, this is pretty much similar to like a 3-to-1 of author of color versus a white author. So that's typical of my reading there. And then with buying and saving, I have bought 41 books, and that was about $500-ish. I like to keep track of this stuff for me personally, so this is not something for y'all to really compare yourselves to me. This is just for me to keep in mind of whenever I want to keep track of my book buying habit. A lot of the books I bought were physical, and then we have the audiobook and ebook. As far as where I bought it, I think mostly it was half-price books in Barnes & Noble, so usually I would get them discounted, not full price. And as far as the books I borrowed from my library, I borrowed like 246 materials, so that is physical, ebook, audiobook, and DVDs. And I actually, as far as if I've actually read them or whether I've watched the movies and stuff like that, more often than not, I just return them without actually finishing watching or finish reading the books, or even not even watching the movies at all. So something for me to work on a little bit. My total library savings is about $5,000, which means my net overall savings is about $4,500. So yeah, I saved a lot from using my library. Like 2025 was the year of the library. Trust and believe. And then here's my quick DNF wrapped up here. I DNF'd 71 books, and I DNF'd about 13 series. And as far as new releases, about half of them were new releases of the 71. 2025 was a year that I really want to read a lot of new releases, and unfortunately, a lot of them, yeah, some of them were just not hitting really well with me, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but this is just a pretty quick snapshot of like the prominent books that I DNF'd in 2025. I think the most notable one for me that I still think I will come back to is Frankenstein and Bessa. Other than that, I don't think I'm going to get back to those books, like, ever. Now let's get into the movies and TV shows. I actually had to reprint all of the movie posters here because originally they were like really grainy and stuff, so I had to like reprint it all. But I'm glad I did, because look at how vibrant it is. I actually watched 88 movies and then watched 14 TV shows. That's a lot for me, y'all. I don't really want to watch a lot of new to me films and TV, but I wanted to do that because when I had my library card, I borrowed a lot from my library. Unless I already had the DVD at home, but a lot of the movies, almost all the movies I watched were DVDs from the library. Which is why it's very important, y'all, to use your local library. Please, you can borrow DVDs from your library. Like, what's like the most notable movie or TV show? Like, I watched The Menu on DVD thanks to my library. Good Will Hunting, Knives. Wait, did I watch Knives Out? Yeah, I did. I borrowed Knives Out from the library. I think I watched Glass Onion though from Netflix. Challengers I borrowed. Barbie I borrowed. Past Lives I borrowed. Everything Everywhere All at Once I borrowed. Ruby, I had to go through a website for that one. Pride and Prejudice, I started off with the library. That was a good one. The Green Knight, that was a really good one. Oh yeah, I even did my rewatch of The Good Place thanks to the library. I borrowed the DVDs of each season, and that's how I rewatched it, was borrowing the DVDs. Great stuff there. Oh yeah, I watched K-Pop Demon Hunters. That was on Netflix. I did watch Abbott Elementary. I mean, I've been watching it through Hulu/Disney Plus, so that's kind of how I've been watching this. But maybe if I do a rewatch of Abbott Elementary, I can borrow the DVD from my library. And then yeah, this is the last bit here with the movies and stuff. I gotta say, I watched a lot of really, really good stuff. And I also really like the way I did this Dutch door here as well. Real, very nice. And then here is my Letterboxd review. So shows the amount of movies that I've logged, reviewed, hours watched. The best movies that I've logged on Letterboxd were Sinners, K-Pop Demon Hunters, and The Wedding Banquet 2025. I just wanted to add some stickers in the background here so there's just so much space. But yeah, pretty solid with that. And in this last spread, here's my book matrix. This is how I figured out the best book of the year for me. So, you just battle everything out here like a priority matrix and you count it up and end up with James to be the best book of 2025, which I read in May, which is kind of great actually. I tend to find my best, like all-time favorite books in the middle of the year, like around May-ish. So I don't know, spring is like the perfect time for me to find like the best book of the year for me. And then also I ranked out the other ones, so yeah. This is the last spread right here, y'all. This is it. Thank you all for joining me in this long venture into flipping through this journal. Honestly, it's just a lot. I mean, look how thick this is. It's a little bit of a chunker there, but I'm really glad that I took my time to get through all this. And I do want to apologize for how long it's taking me to film content and edit content. I don't even know when this video is going to go up, but honestly, it is what it is, okay? I got what I got. It is what it is. But thank you all though for joining me and for watching this video. If you like it, and comment down below your thoughts on anything that I put in this journal for your 2025 reading journal. If you've done one, are you gonna do? Have you done one for 2026? I would love to know your progress. Hopefully, I can give y'all some updates in my 2026 reading journal. I have added some things in here as well. I've been updating it. Hopefully, I can do maybe like a winter reading journal update of some sort. I don't know. But if you made this far in the video, you're not sure what to say, but you want to leave me an emoji, let me know you're here. You gotta leave me a ghosty emoji. This is the last time we're gonna use the ghost emoji because it's for this notebook in particular. But anyways, thank you all again for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.